turn for home. Saboteur Sigler gets the jump on the pack. Opens up by 5. Almost an insurmountable lead with a furlong to go.
At the 16th pole, it's Unbridled Rocket set to score.
Welcome to Grilling and Gambling with Greg. I'm your host, Greg Rennick. I love grilling, owning thoroughbred racehorses, and handicapping the races. Every episode, we're going to try and emulate recipes from chefs and grill masters around the United States. We're also going to try and find for you affordable wagers that can generate a substantial profit. Last week we featured a grilled flank steak stuffed with a mixture of spinach, pine nuts, thinly sliced garlic, golden raisins, and shredded mozzarella cheese. On last week's episode we recommended 3 bets: a early 50-cent pick 5 totaling $12, a late 50-cent pick 5 totaling $24, and a late 50-cent pick 4 totaling $8. We got the first 4 home in the early 50-cent pick 5, but our 3 horses in the 5th race failed to run to their form, so we didn't quite do it. Our other 2 bets didn't materialize either, so we lost money. If you've been with us since November 12th and played every bet we've suggested on the program, you'd be more than $2,600 ahead. This week we're going to try and replicate the grilled stuffed pork chop from Grill This Not That. We're going to do an adaptation. We're going to stuff the pork chops with crumbled blue cheese, chopped walnuts, chopped red onion, as well as cranberry craisins. We're also going to try and find some winning bets for Sunday closing day at the Del Mar Fall Meet. Well, we're going to now prepare the mixture for the stuffing for the pork chops. We got a half a cup of the craisins, a half a cup of the crumbled blue cheese, about a quarter cup of the chopped walnuts, and a bit of red onions to add to the flavor. We're going to put them in a bowl, mix them up, and add about 2 teaspoons of balsamic vinegar. Okay, now that the mixture of craisins, crumbled blue cheese, chopped walnuts, and chopped onion is ready, we're going to go ahead and stuff the pork chops. So when I went to the store, I had the butcher cut some pockets in the pork chops so that we can put the stuffing inside the pork chops. So we'll take some of the stuffing, put it in the pocket, make sure we get plenty in there. And we'll go ahead and stuff the other 2 pork chops, and then we'll tighten up the pockets with toothpicks, then coat the pork chops with olive oil, salt, and pepper. Okay, the pork chops are ready to put on the grill. We got the grill at 350 degrees, so we're going to put the 3 pork chops on the grill. We're going to grill them about 10 minutes aside, and hopefully in about 20 minutes, 30 minutes after a 10-minute rest, we'll be ready to eat. Sunday is closing day at Del Mar for the fall meet. Since it's closing day and I don't plan on wagering too much, if anything, at the Los Alamitos meeting that begins on Thursday, I'm going to be a little more aggressive tomorrow. I'm going to start out in the early 50-cent pick 5 with a $24 ticket. That enables me to take 2 horses in each of the first 3 races, 3 horses in the 4th race, and 2 horses in the final leg of the pick 5, the 5th race. The pick 5 starts out with a 5.5 furlong race for maiden $20,000 claiming horses. Most of the horses in the race have been running at this level, which is pretty much the bottom of the barrel for maidens in Southern California. The 2 horses I like are number 2, Encountess, and number 4, Token Val. The reason I like them is that they're taking big drops in class in Sunday's race. Encountess is dropping from a California bred maiden special weight race into this spot, and Token Val is dropping from an open $50,000 maiden claiming race. They should run 1-2. I'd be really surprised if any of the other 5 horses winds up winning the race. So I'm going to go with those 2 and figure that they on the drop in class alone should win. In the second race, the 2 horses I like are number 4, Brooks All Mine, and number 5, Powder. Brooks All Mine is a professional racehorse. She has 6 lifetime wins. She's won twice and finished second over the surface at Del Mar. She came down here last summer from Golden Gate Fields and won at the 6 furlong distance. She gets Evan Roman for Bill McLean. Powder is also a professional racehorse. By that I mean she likes to win races. She's been in 14 starts. She's been first or second 8 times, 4 wins, 4 seconds. I liked her so much that my partner and I tried to claim her in her last race. There were 18 claims in for her. She's very competitive at this California bred allowance optional claiming race. She likes the surface, as I said. She likes the distance. She gets Drayden Van Dyke for trainer Steve Knapp. She should be forwardly placed in the race. In the 3rd race, I like number 4, Arch Anthem, and number 8, Englander. Arch Anthem, like all the others in here, is looking for their first win. What I like about him is he's been in the money 3 of 4 starts. He has 2/3 over the Del Mar turf course where this race is going to be run. This race is a 1 1/16 for maiden special weights. I like Englander because he has improving speed figures. Each race his number has gotten better. He figures to be relatively close to the pace, and Joe Talamo should have him ready to roll. He's coming off a layoff. Phil D'Amato gave him 2 sprints before the layoff, so he figures off those sprints to be, as I said, fairly close to the pace. In the 4th race, the 3 horses I like are number 4, Hot Paris Night, number 7, Go Ghetto, and number 10, Preacher Row. Hot Paris Night is only won 2 races in his life. He's coming off a layoff for Jerry Hollendorfer, but one of the things I like about him, he's a very hard-knocking horse. He has for the most part, pretty competitive speed figures. Back in 2017 in the winter, he beat a horse that my partner and I own by a head. He's a very hard knocker, so I think he needs to be in there. Giovanni Franco's riding for Jerry Hollendorfer, and he's one of the top trainers. He's good at getting horses ready off a layoff, so I expect a big effort from him. Go Ghetto is a first-time claim for Peter Miller. Peter Miller's 24%, first time off the claim. They get Heriberto Figueroa, so they should also be a contender. Number 10, Preacher Row, is trained by my trainer, Jack Carava. He's taking a drop in class from the California Bred allowance optional claiming into this $8,000 claiming race. He has 6 lifetime wins, and he figures to be competitive. A couple races back for 10,000, he finished second, beating a length and a half at a mile at Los Alamitos. So I think he and Martin Pedrosa will get a real good trip. In the 5th race, I like number 1, Worthy Turk, and number 2, Blitzkrieg. I think they're going to get real good trips. They have pretty good competitive speed figures in here. They shouldn't be too far off the pace, and I think their riders, Joel Rosario and Flavian Pratt, are smart enough to save as much ground as possible during the race. The 5th. Now, if my 2 horses in the first race, if neither of them wins, I'll probably come back with a $12, 50-cent early pick 4. As I said, since it's closing day and I'm not playing too much at Los Alamitos, I'm going to be a little more aggressive. Okay, we're ready to serve dinner, the pork chops. We're going to accompany that with some mixed vegetables. And we're going to also have salad. So we're going to have some protein, some vegetables, and salad.
All right, let's take a taste. Let's see how this... It's very good with the stuffing and the pork. It's very good. With the cranberries, the cheese, and the walnuts, it balances very well, and it's very delicious.
My second major wager, especially if we're not alive in either the early pick 5 or the early pick 4, is the 50-cent late pick 5, races 5 through 9. I'm planning on putting in a $24 ticket here with 3 horses in the 5th race, and then 2 in each of the other 4 races. I'm going to be taking Worthy Turk and Blitzkrieg, whom I discussed in our first wager. And I'm also going to add in number 10, Chris's Wild Cat. He comes out of a race at 6.5 furlongs on the turf at Santa Anita, where he won from just off the pace, scoring an 80 Beyer speed rating. Each of his races he had an improving speed figure, And what I like about him is that in that race, even though he's been laid off, at least two horses, the horses that finished second and third in that race, came back to win races. So, you know, he could be a real factor in here with Rafael Bejarano aboard for Richard Baltas at 8-1 on the morning line. The two horses I like in the sixth race are number 7, Adorably Sweet, and number 9, Dr. Windsong. This is a California bred maiden special weight race at 6 furlongs for 2-year-old fillies. Adorably Sweet is trained by Mike Pipey. We'll have Drayden Van Dyke in the saddle, is the 3-1 morning line favorite. What I like about her is she has a pretty steady work pattern and blew out for the race in 47 3/5 seconds from the gate. That was one of the faster works at that distance at Santa Anita on that particular day. Her trainer, Mike Pipey, is very good with first-time starters and 2-year-olds. The same is true for number 9, Dr. Windsong. He's got Phil D'Amato, who's at 15% with first-time starters. And he has Flavien Prat aboard. The sire Cyclotron is almost 12% with first-time starters. So those are my two picks in that race. My horses in the 7th race are number 5, Cadera, and number 9, Basilica. This is the feature of the day, the Grade 1 Matriarch Stakes at a mile on the turf. Cadera is a very hard-knocking mare. She's won 5 of 12 starts. She's coming in from back east for trainer Chad Brown. She's owned by Peter Brandt, who won the feature race on Saturday. There's 2 races back. She has an excellent 103 buyer speed rating. Basilica has won 8 races in a row for trainer Jerry Hollendorfer. She's 2 for 2 over the turf course at Del Mar. She has Flavien Prat back in the saddle. I think she's the horse to beat. The 8th race is a 6.5 furlong allowance optional claiming race on the main track. I like number 3, Captain Scotty, for Peter Miller. Flavien Prat is aboard. He's coming out of a mile race. He's shortening up to 6.5 furlongs. Peter Miller's very good at going from route races to sprint races, and combined with Flavien Prat, he's winning at a 30% clip at Del Mar. Gravitos is my other horse. He's coming off a layoff too. He is going to be ridden by Joel Rosario for Adam Kitchenman. He was facing some of the best 3-year-olds in the country prior to going on a layoff. He's been working real good. He's going to be forwardly placed. I expect a big performance out of him. In the 9th race, I like the 2 outside horses. This is a 1-mile race on the turf course for maiden special weight horses. The horses are Mobu and Hefe. Mobu has improving speed ratings every race. Each of his 3 races, they've gotten better. He's going to be up close under Mike Smith. He finished second, beating the head last time out. Hefe is coming off a layoff for Keith DeSormo. His brother Kent is going to be riding him. He too is improving speed number pattern. So I like that when horses are gradually progressing, and I think those are going to be the 2 horses to beat, even though they're on the outside. If for some reason neither of the 3 horses wins the 5th race, then I'll go down to an $8 pick 4 to try and hit that to end the meet. Because it's closing day and there's a $24,000 plus pick 6 jackpot carryover, I may even put in a $16 to $24 pick 6 using the horses I've selected in races 4 through 9. I'm going to have to take no more than 2 horses in at least 3 of the races, and in the other 3 I'm going to have to come up with just one of the horses I have in that. I'll probably have a better idea tomorrow and post it on Facebook or on my Twitter account. Thank you for joining us. If you tried the grilled stuffed pork chops, I hope you find them tasty. I also wish you good luck. We'll probably have our next episode of Grilling and Gambling with Greg sometime around the start of the Santa Anita meet on December 26th. Thank you, and if you have any questions or comments, just email me at gregrennick1970@gmail.com. I'd appreciate your input on things you'd like to see more of, things you'd like to see less of. Again, thank you for joining us, and good luck.